So in this video we'll discuss the enhancements to the spreadsheet control. So let's start out by adding a basic spreadsheet control. So we'll go ahead there and click add control. We'll search for spreadsheet and we'll add a spreadsheet control which we'll just call SS1, and then we'll double click on it to configure it, and I'm going to just turn off this button there. So this is a basic spreadsheet control. Here we'll go and define say 2 columns, column 1, and we'll just accept all the default settings for column 1, and then we'll go and add another column, column 2, and go ahead and accept all the default settings over there. So now when we run this, we should see a spreadsheet control with 2 columns, column 1 and column 2, just one row. And then if we basically type into it and then tab, type in, we get additional rows as we move to the next item there. So we go. So the first enhancement we're going to look at is the ability to dynamically add new columns to the spreadsheet control. So let's go back here, and we'll go here and we'll say allow column add. We'll accept the default icon, which is just a little plus key. We can customize the icon if we want. So we'll go ahead now and run this. So now we see that we have a little plus there. We can click that and keep on adding new columns. So now we basically are dynamically adding new columns to the spreadsheet control. So let's go back now and look at this next option, which is the ability to add a button into the column header. So we'll go there, and then we'll go back to our column definition. We'll go to this first column and we'll say that we want a button in the column heading for the first for C1, and let's go to C2 and we'll also add one in there for C2 as well. And then we can go and define the JavaScript that executes when we press that button. So we'll go here and we'll just choose example 2, which displays a menu of choices. So I'm going to just go there and then copy this code to the clipboard and then paste it into the JavaScript editor there. So go ahead and click OK, and click OK now. So now you can see that basically the spreadsheet is rendered with a little icon there. When I click on the icon, I get a menu that says delete column, and if I delete the column, then we just have column C1 over there. And then if we go ahead and add new columns, and then I can go and delete the column. And the final option that we have, which will make sense when we populate this spreadsheet control with a large amount of data, is this option to virtualize the spreadsheet control. So when you virtualize the spreadsheet control, you can populate the spreadsheet control with literally thousands and thousands of rows of data, but only 10 rows will be visible at a time, and a scroller will be displayed to allow you to quickly scroll through the data in the spreadsheet. So I'll pause now and pick this up in the next video where I demonstrate virtual rows. So we're continuing with our demonstration of the enhancements to the spreadsheet control. So you can see that what we've done at this point now is we've got the ability to add new columns, and we've also basically turned on virtualization, and we've set the row count to 10. So now I'm going to go and run this, and you can see that basically we have a spreadsheet that's got 2 columns, because that's what we defined, and we have a button now that's going to make an AJAX callback and populate the spreadsheet with all of the orders from the Northwind orders table. That's about 2,000 rows. So I'm going to click this button, we're going to make an AJAX callback, and you can see that basically not only do we populate the spreadsheet, but we also change the structure of the spreadsheet control to match the structure of the JSON data from the order details table, and we have 10 rows of data visible, but as we click on the scroller here, we can scroll through the virtual rows. So if we go take a look at this code here on this button, we can see that this button makes an AJAX callback to an XBasic function called XB. And if we go look at this definition of XB, we'll see that what XB does is it opens up a connection to the Northwind database. It does a query to select all records from order details. It turns on portable SQL because we're using square brackets here because there's a space in the table name. We execute the SQL, we get the JSON, and then we basically send some JavaScript back, and in the JavaScript we're using a special new helper function called set spreadsheet layout and populate. So the spreadsheet control is called SS1. This is the JSON data. So what this function will do is it'll set all of the columns in the spreadsheet control to match the structure of the JSON data, and it'll populate it all in one go. So let's go back to working preview here, and then we click the button. So we get 10 visible rows of data and our scroller over there, so we can move through the JSON data very quickly. So what we've shown in this video is how you can populate the spreadsheet control with JSON data, and if there's a large number of rows, you can turn virtualization on. You can see if we go back to design mode here and turn virtualization off over there, when we populate the spreadsheet, we're going to get 2,000 rows visible in the actual spreadsheet all at once. So if I go ahead and click this button, you'll see we have basically all the spreadsheet has been populated. We've changed the structure to match the data in the JSON data, and then we have 2,000 rows of data. So you can see the advantage of virtualization is that you get a manageable number of rows, and you can very quickly scroll through that data using the virtual scroller. In this video we'll continue our discussion on the spreadsheet control, and we'll look at what gets submitted to the server when the user presses the submit button. So you can see here we have a spreadsheet control, and we're going to pre-populate it using some CSV data. So there's our control. If we go ahead now and press the submit button, we'll see that what gets submitted to the server is a JSON string with the data for each column in the spreadsheet control. But now let's go and make an edit to this field over here and change this from Boston to say New York, and then go ahead and press the submit button. Now we can see that basically the first row has this special system field called underbar dirty, which is set to a value of true. So that indicates that in the JSON data that got submitted to the server, only the first row has been edited. So if any row has an underbar dirty property, that means that that row has been edited. So what we have over here is our spreadsheet control, and then we have two different views of the data in the spreadsheet control. So this is the CSV view, and this is the JSON view of that data. So if we go to the CSV view here and we add a new row, let's go here and add in Simon Smith, and we turn back to the spreadsheet view, we'll see that we've basically got that new row added into the spreadsheet control. And if we go here to the JSON view, we can see that we can basically go and make an edit over there, and then switch back to the spreadsheet view, and there's our edit. So what this control does is show how you can basically take the data from the spreadsheet control and display it in either CSV or JSON format, and then how you can then take CSV data or JSON data and quickly repopulate the spreadsheet control. So let's go take a look behind the scenes at how this was all done. So if we go back to design mode and we look at the tab control here, the CSV tab pane has a on before change method, and what we've done over here, we said that if So basically that if the active tab was CSV and we are moving to the CSV sorry, I meant to be looking at the on change event. So if we go to the on change event here, we can see we have some JavaScript here that takes the data from the spreadsheet control over here and then generates CSV data over here and then sets the value in the CSV text area control to the CSV data. And then for the JSON tab over here, we can see that what we do is much easier. We get a pointer to the spreadsheet control, and then we get a pointer to the spreadsheet control's value obj property, which is the data, and then we just simply stringify that data and set the value of the JSON text area control to JSON. So then when we switch back to the spreadsheet control, we need to take what's inside either the CSV control here or the JSON control here and repopulate the spreadsheet control. So if we go look over here, you can see that we read the value out of the CSV control to get the string, and then we call the set spreadsheet layout and populate method, which can take either an object or a JSON string or a CSV data, a CSV string of data, and that's how we repopulate the spreadsheet control when we move back from one of those tabs, when we move back from the CSV tab or the JSON tab back to the spreadsheet tab. So what we've shown over here is how basically you can use CSV data or JSON data to populate the spreadsheet control, and how when you edit data in the spreadsheet control, a new property gets added to the data telling you which of the dirty rows were in the spreadsheet control. Thanks very much for watching.